Today, we're diving into a story that completely reimagines our relationship with technology. It's this incredible tale of family, faith, and a really desperate fight for the future, where that line between a person and a machine, well, it gets beautifully and dangerously blurred. Okay, so picture this. The year is 2031. A father says these words to his 5-year-old son as they head out on a small boat. They're carrying a big roll of red cloth, and they're on their way to what he calls a family reunion. But trust me, it's unlike any you've ever imagined.
And no, this isn't just some kind of metaphor. For the people of Rahu bin, this is literal. When a child is born, their placenta is taken and buried at the base of a brand new turbine, which links them forever as siblings. They're bound by a blood ritual, making them family in the truest sense. This thing isn't just a machine, it's kin.
So you've got to be wondering, how on earth did an entire community start looking at giant industrial machines as actual members of their family? To get that, we have to rewind a bit, back to the year 2026, to see how this incredible pact with the future was even made. Back in 2026, Rahu bin is literally on the verge of collapse. For them, climate change isn't some abstract threat, it's their daily reality. The ocean has already crept a whole kilometer inland, swallowing up homes and memories, leaving these old utility poles just standing there like lonely ghosts in the middle of the water.
This quote, man, it just perfectly captures the pain and the skepticism of the community at first. These are the words of a woman named Auntie Boonsri. She lost her husband to the sea, to its violence. So for her and for a lot of others, this idea of a new wind farm just felt like this hollow, empty technical fix for deeply human tragedy.
But then, a university professor shows up, and he offers a solution that's about way more than just engineering. He suggests they don't just build these turbines, they should adopt them. He proposes this radical idea: forge a sacred bond, weave these machines into the very spiritual fabric of their lives, as family, and at the same time, use their foundations to create new life as artificial reefs. And you know what? Against all odds, the villagers actually agree. They do it. And this one decision completely transforms their world, creating this unique harmony between people, nature, and technology that really no one could have ever seen coming.
And the results, they're absolutely astonishing. The bases of the turbines just explode with life, becoming these thriving ecosystems. Coral starts growing, fish populations bounce back, and totally new economies, like pearl farming, start to pop up. They even start seeing this legendary giant stingray, the Rahu ray, swimming around the turbines, which the villagers take as a sign that an ancient spirit is blessing their new family.
So this bond gets deeply personal. One day, that little boy from the beginning of our story, he's a young man now, is out on a boat. A friend of his playfully falls overboard, but she gets pulled down by this really dangerous current. Just as she's about to be swept away, her arm gets caught on the submerged ladder of the turbine. The machine physically holds onto her, like an embrace, and it saves her life. And this relationship leads to one of the most profound things you can imagine. When the son decides to enter the monkhood, his family prepares 2 sets of saffron robes. In a ceremony that's connected by a wireless signal, both the young man and his turbine brother are ordained together. They become brothers not just in blood, but now in faith.
So, for 20 years, they've built this beautiful, unique harmony, but now it's the year 2046, and an order from the outside world is about to come down and shatter everything.
And get this, the person who brings the devastating news is the very same professor who first proposed the whole idea. He comes back and tells them the turbines are now considered obsolete. Their operational life is over. They have to be decommissioned. To the outsiders, it's a simple, logical business decision. But to the people of Rahu bin, it's a death sentence for their family.
But this isn't just about some energy policy or corporate red tape. The order to decommission their family, it reveals that there's a hidden, much more powerful force that's been pulling the strings from above. And I mean that literally.
And here they are, the true antagonists. They're called the Iridium. They're this powerful elite who, years ago, just abandoned the deteriorating Earth to go build a private paradise for themselves up in orbit. From their clean, sterile colony in the sky, they look down on the planet and everyone on it not as a home but as a resource, something to be controlled and, when it's no longer useful, discarded.
The community, they refuse to just stand by and watch their siblings get murdered. There's no way they're sacrificing their family. And so the son, who's now a revered monk, steps up to lead a desperate resistance. And from there, things just spiral out of control so fast. What starts as a protest turns into a high-stakes rescue mission to the Ariete space station itself. They get shot down during their escape, and it's their turbine siblings who actually guide them to a safe landing. But when they get back, they're met by this overwhelming military force, led by the infamous General FireEye, who's been sent to just eradicate all opposition.
And this is the moment the story becomes pure legend. As the battle is raging, the turbines themselves join the fight. In this unbelievable act of solidarity, they start to shed their colossal blades, dropping them down into the hands of the villagers. The blades that once harnessed the wind now become giant swords to defend their home.
So the final confrontation isn't just a battle. It's like an elemental storm of lightning and legend, a moment that will be etched into the very soul of Rahu bin forever.
Now, we don't know the exact fate of the monk and General FireEye after that final violent clash. It's left unknown. But what we do know is that their defiant last stand becomes the heart of a new mythology. It's the story of a people who stood up to a power that saw their world as disposable, and they declared that some bonds can never, ever be broken.
And this right here, this is the key takeaway. The physical machines might be gone, destroyed in the fight, but the community's belief was not. Their real victory wasn't about saving the steel and wiring, it was about preserving their entire worldview. The rituals continue. New children are bonded to the memory of their turbine siblings, and the story gets told for generations.
Ultimately, the story leaves us with a huge question for our own time. In our world of AI and smart devices and everything else, we're forming new kinds of relationships with technology every single day. The legend of Rahu bin forces us to look at our own lives and ask, what kind of relationship are we going to choose? One of just convenience and disposal, or one of kinship and a shared destiny?